Hi, I'm Paul, and I'm a weirdo. Very weird way to start a video, I know. I suffer from what's called Asperger's, which is a type of autism. So that's the weirdo part. I made a video yesterday to a very dear friend of mine, and I was trying to explain to her the issues that come with Asperger's. And I realized there's not many people who've just sat down and done something like this, which for me is extremely hard because I don't like doing this, unless it's for someone I really know. So I decided to make this a maybe multi-part thing. I'm going to make it unlisted, send it to my friend, and if she likes it, I might put it public. So let's start with the basics. I will tell you a bit myself, and then I'll explain Asperger's and how it relates to me. So growing up, I grew up in Detroit. I'm 33. I'm going to be 34 in a little over a month. My dad was a paramedic. My mom did taxes, and she homeschooled us up until high school. I graduated high school with honors, graduated college, got my degree. Took me 6 years, but I still got there. And I hope restore classic cars, and I do web design. So that's my past in a nutshell. So we're going to get into the Asperger's part. Now I got to wear glasses because I'm nearsighted. I like to keep my glasses off because, again, I'm extremely nervous. So going into according to Autism Speaks website, Asperger's syndrome was generally considered to be on the high functioning end of the spectrum. Affected children and adults have difficulty with social interactions and exhibit a restricted range of interest and or repetitive behaviors. So, first we're going to touch on the social interactions. I suck. Easy as pie. I suck. I don't like a large group of people. I don't like crowds. I'll put it that way. I tell people I may be 33, but I have the social age of a 16-year-old, maybe younger. I will try to make jokes. I will say the wrong thing at the wrong time. Turns a lot of people off. But the thing is, I don't know it at the time. Later on, I realize I screwed up. But at the time, I don't know. The limited interest and repetitive behaviors. I love history. I love taking things apart. I love to dance, and that was a big interest. When I'm interested in something, I will do it to the max. I would dance 30-something hours a week, easily. I've slowed down considerably. And the repetitive behavior, it's a routine. It is kind of like Rain Man, if you want to call it that, or whatever, but I go to a certain restaurant, for breakfast, I get the same thing. The waitresses all know me by name. They already have my eggs and stuff at the table when they see me pull up. I don't go every week, but I do have certain places I like to go. It's just the way we are. So we're going to keep going from there. Motor development may be delayed, leading to clumsiness or uncoordinated motor movements. I'm clumsy. I really am. Compared to those affected by other forms of ASD, which is the autism spectrum disorder, however, those with Asperger do not have significant delays or difficulties in language or cognitive development. Some even demonstrate precocious vocabulary, often in a highly specialized field of interest. So, our vocabulary, yes. I'm very, very eloquent in my speech when I need to be. I'm very witty at times, but 90% of the time it will be that, dang, I should have said that, moments. High cognitive. When it means that I'm very tactile. I love to fix things. The way my mind works is, and it weirds people out many, many times. If there's an engine and I listen to it, I can literally hear and see in my mind what's going on, and I tell you exactly what's wrong with it. It's just the way I am. I love to tinker. I love to problem solve. I used to work in construction, fixing construction equipment, and if something was broken and you had to do A, B, C, and D, I'd do A, X, G, Y, B, but I still get to the end result. It really pissed my boss off a lot of the time, but he got used to it, and he let me be and do what I needed to do, and I always got the job done. And it just worked that way. And as you hear my vocabulary, I've written almost 4 books. I can write. My mother always. I'll write something on Facebook. I'll make a post on Facebook, and my mother will think it's from a Pulitzer Prize winning author. I can write a short story in under an hour, and it's like 6 pages long because it's just the way we are. Also, going with that, and I kind of call this to Aspies, as we're called. I sometimes use metaphors, but think of time as a river, and we all have rapids and but it flows. For us, at times, for us, time can be a pond where we're stuck. I can sit and write, and if to me it feels like 10 minutes, it's been 3 hours. It's just the way we are. It's just how we are. So, the following behaviors also have also been associated with Asperger syndrome. However, they are seldom present in any one individual and vary in degree. So, I gotta get my mouse. So, like I said, I don't want to cut this. I want to make this as fluid as possible. So, let me reach over here. Where's my mouse? There it is. So, these are the things, and I will tell you if I have them. Limited or inappropriate social interactions. That's me. I will say the wrong thing at the wrong time. I've done it many times, and it's gotten me not much in trouble, but people just don't like it. Robotic or repetitive speech challenges with nonverbal communications, coupled with average to above average verbal skills. I have problems with facial. When they say that, it's like eye contact. I have a lot of problem making eye contact with people. Tendency to discuss self rather than others. It's hard to do that. This is inability to understand social emotional issues or non-literal phrases. And then the next one actually is lack of eye contact or reciprocal conversations, obsessed with specific, often unusual topics, one-sided conversations, and awkward movements and or mannerisms. So, the gestures, yes, I have certain gestures I do, but not much. The tendency to discuss self rather than others, I don't have that. I like to listen. I've learned. Inability to understand social emotional issues or non-literal phrases. This is the one I'm going to touch on right now. Some people would call people with Asperger's out of touch with emotions, and in a way we are. We have problems understanding emotional cues. We don't get it. I don't get it. And I will tell you right now, and like I said, it's an afterthought that we will understand later, or someone will explain it to us. The non-literal, we don't get those cues. We don't get those social or emotional cues, and it's hard on a lot of people, significant others and otherwise. The inappropriate thing, there's a story that really makes you understand, but I am not going to. Maybe in a later one when I get permission from my friend, who we'll name Jay at this time, and I will explain that part. But some people would call us cold, impersonal, but we're not. We just don't have that. And the emotional part is we will, if we really love someone, we will do our darndest to show it. So the awkward movements, then it goes into diagnosis, and okay, where am I? This is what I wanted to go into. Asperger's came from an Austrian physician named Hans Asperger. And so his observations was published in Germany, was not known until 1994. So we were all diagnosed with ADD, those who have Asperger's. And people with ADD as kids mostly grow out of it. But it wasn't known until later. I didn't get diagnosed until I was well into high school. No, actually, it was in college when they finally diagnosed me with Asperger's. They always diagnosed me with ADD or ADHD. But it wasn't known. So one of the things is with social awkwardness, and there is a level of impulsivity. And growing up in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, my parents didn't really understand it. Many times my dad thought I was just being malicious. And I'd get spanked a lot, which I'm not mad at him for doing. But it really brought me to the way I am today. It's just, I do believe in spanking. So, we're going to keep going down. So, like I said, it's not well known about how it works. We're still in the infancies. I mean, 1944, and it stayed in Germany until 81, and then it finally came to the United States, over a decade later. So, it's a very hard thing to understand. So, going from that, now I'm going to kind of relate to it and my problems with having Asperger's. Like I said, I don't like a lot of people. I am not that kind of person. I don't prefer to be alone, but I don't like to be around a lot of people. 1-2 people maybe. With the social part, I don't have any friends. I have one. Most of my friends are acquaintances. They tolerate. I say that I am tolerated, not accepted. And that was very well sought out when I went to church and I was in a youth group, and my sister was a social butterfly and I wasn't. I was ostracized from the youth group. I will give you a very, very good example. I would always try to fit in with other people, and they didn't like it. Mind you, this is the early 90s, and late 90s at this time. And a very good example was every Wednesday night after a youth service, they would go out to eat. And I had my own car by this time. And I asked them, hey, where are you going out to eat? Oh, we're not going out to eat. I said, okay. So I came home, and my sister had her own car, and we're waiting. And she finally comes home, and my mom's like, where are you at? And my sister said, oh, we all went to Applebee's. And I just went dead. So as time went on, I've gotten used to being tolerated. It sucks, but it doesn't. So it goes in all aspects for most people with Asperger's syndrome, because not many people understand it. And it's up to us to try to get it out there. So with this awkwardness, if no one knows, and because some people don't like to say, we're listed as weirdos or creepy when we're not. I had to learn how to read body languages, and it takes a lot to learn. So I would have to sit and watch people, and again, that goes into the creepy part. So, but it gets hard. It's one of the hardest things when you have Asperger's, and we are very, very, we try to do it. So I'm going to cut it here, and I will make this will be part 1. I'm just going to do these back to back and just make this a part series so I can keep going. So thank you for listening and watching. If you like this, subscribe, like this. So this is Paul. See you in the next video. So if I could actually hit the right button. So see you in the next video.